Alright, so now we are going to essentially you do this to see your Hytale. So I just want to show you how to make hair, for example, like just completely custom. So I'm going to set these blocks to a very specific amount, size 30. This will overlap the head, so it's 28 and size 28. That is the first part. This is how this would be where you paint the flat textures onto the hair. And then it's actually really simple. Say I want to make, let's just think about this for a second. You could like long hair, stuff like that. But this is more common to be on the head. So like we can create, I don't know what this is end up looking like, but I do advise you use references for what you're creating. But you could like, I don't know, experiment, you know? Like, I don't know, it could be really random. Hair can be very random sometimes, you know? So just do whatever you want. So this is like, let's maybe put it a little bit more. It looks weird, but it is what it is. And then I don't know, maybe something like that. See, we're not really thinking about it too much. We're just thinking, what is the purpose of the hair that we're going to use? And how are we going to use it? And then we're just doing it. The more you think about it, the less you're going to do it. So stop the procrastination or like the mind block of, oh, I can't do this. Just literally do it. Like, you're going to fail, but failure improves. It makes you better. So let's just say I want, really weird looking hair this is going to turn out to be. So we're going to use quads. The filing for this is, so look at this quad. You see this? Just quads. Let's show you the filings. So this is kind of how you lay everything out. Everything is an attachment, so you just put the file name, the origin, the item. You can look that up. I just want to show you how to do the art for today. So say, I'm thinking. I'm doing it really weird and not really thinking too much about this. It could end up turning out really bad or really good. So I'm thinking ears are here, so maybe the hair would go back like this. Because you got to be mindful where your ears are. You could actually just maybe import your character from the game. I don't know if you can do that. Probably can. And then tweak it. So I've just created two parts. Flip to the other side. It wasn't very accurate because I didn't set the pivot point properly. So, okay, there we go. Now, we want to use quads again. Quads are always going to be flipped around. Like, there you go. So let's say I want to do, I don't know. See, I'm going to use this as just a. For example, I want spiky hair or something like that. It's just very, very rough. Not really thinking about this. Like that. Nice and quick tutorial. And I want to go backwards, I guess. Just make sure it's lined up. You can vertex snap it like this. See? To get it nice and lined up. And we could just put it all over here because we don't know where we want to put it. So I'm just going to put these blocks here for now. Let's think. What else do... I'm just going to use the Hytale Disco for a second just to see some normal default Hytale hair. Okay, so what I do see is... I see here, we're just going to do this, like this, hopefully it doesn't overlap, and we're going to push it, this way, just a bit. That's how you can get it like to the side hair, and maybe like that, I don't know, I'm just experimenting. we could do, this is gonna look like the most weird hairstyle in the world, but it still teaches you how to do that, so mission accomplished, you know. Like maybe a micro adjustment forward so it doesn't overlap. Okay, and then you simply create the texture. You don't have to do that, you can ignore that. Don't need to put padding on. Box UV enabled. What you want to do now is enable move texture with UV, click on the parts and separate them from each other so the textures don't overlap to each other. You don't want textures next to each other. It's the last thing you want. So just double check all the textures are good. Right, some blur. We just want to move them away. Okay, with them away now. Just move that from the edge. Okay, so they're nowhere near each other yet. There you go. And this one a bit further away from this one. Alright, so they can't overlap now. So I'm gonna go paint, Control A, edit, clear unused texture space. Alright. Now, well, it's time to go work. So I'm going to use the bucket tool, erase mode. What erase mode does is it erases things. So face, like so. And we're just gonna erase everything possible. Make sure everything's raised, put that on. Now, hair is actually rather simple. You get the pixel brush, you want square, because this fits the format, and then, yeah, so, like that. And get rid of alpha lock. Choose the color of hair you want. For this, I want brown, so I'm gonna go brown. That looks like a nice brown, but I want a bit stronger starting point. Hairs are usually not in this area, don't ever put hair like this, it will just look like, well, you want it to be slightly visible. Nah, about, this looks about good for a base. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it now. And then I'm going to use the razor mode. And do this. But with this instead. I want it to go... let's think. Maybe to the side a bit. See? I'm just carving it out. Let's see. I want the edges to be like that. And then I want it like that. Okay, so see, now we got some dramatic effect here. It's not perfect. You want to take your time with these things, don't rush them. I am simply just doing this very quickly for the sake of the video and your attention spans. Alright, so let's patch this up a little bit. So I think we need to maybe this area and then just smooth it out a bit, give it some shape, because hair doesn't do that. Maybe end it there then. I think that's fine. And then I want to use a smaller brush just to get more details. More fire refined. Let's do it up to there. That's about as good as I'm happy with it. Okay, it's not perfect hair. It's just doesn't need to be. Just like that, and then maybe like that. I don't know. We're just experimenting, okay? So now I maybe want the hair to go up. Like I said, this is a weird hairstyle, but it's just showing you how to do it, which I care about. So for the hair, we're gonna make it go up. So I'm gonna go like that, a bit like that, very rough. Always do things roughly, because you are just going to patch it anyway, so there's no point making it nice. You're just gonna end up doing this anyway. See, nice, okay. So now we get to work with the background. So I'm just going to lock these two files. That's not what I wanted to do. Alright. So these two files are locked. So the background is all that remains. So I'm gonna paint this the similar color. I want to get it about I want to get the background so I can see it, you know. And then look, we're gonna put some hair there, some hair there. Just get that whole thing done. Okay, so see, you would do the whole round usually, but like so. See, it looks like a really weird haircut, but it's very random. Point is just to show you how it works. I just want to say I'm not a hairstylist, so I'm sorry if this looks pretty bad. For now. You can do your research, like Pinterest, stuff like that, how hair works. It's just practice. But this is a very quick model. See, we're making it a little scruffy, maybe some sideburns. It's very quick. Let's use the circle brush now, so we can refine the shape. Alright. There you go. And this is like someone who just came out of the factory, long day of work, or a blacksmith of some sort. I don't know. He's got very messy hair. Just something like that. See, it's very rough. See? Ignore that, by the way, at the bottom. That's just because there's textures off the UV. Alright, so the detailing, right. Square brush, about 2 maybe. Alright, now we need a darker color. We need to bring this color onto here. So you see these connections? This is where I want to connect these. I want to stop about midway, so right about here. And then see, this would actually go like here. So think about it. See, you're forming these images in your head, and then about here, which would actually extend onto here, see? And then create that, which would actually probably create a line there too. And then we would remove that line, see? This is how you sculpt them. And then, let's see, this would create like this leaf point, which would require a darker color, or a brighter color. Let's try a brighter color. See if that works. It kind of works, so for those areas, we're just gonna do this. I know it's usually dark colors, but like, you can do whatever you want. There is no rules. You can create variations where, for example, this is the main area of the hair, like this. And then, for no reason at all, this is the main line of that base, you see? You can do whatever you want. Alright, so for this side, I am going to follow the rule of making it darker by blending it into the edges here. Nothing perfect. See? Like that. And then maybe some here. It's not very perfect. We don't want it perfect. If you make it perfect, it's not going to look good when you blend it. You want to have the most basic form of structure. Okay, so now I want to thread back these lines. Just give them... I wouldn't say it has completely random, but it is if it's messy. This is very messy hair, so you don't really have to follow a lot of rules when doing this. Just make it look separated or something. Now, I want to erase some of this because it doesn't look like it's coming off the head. You know what? About there. Sounds good. And then, I don't know, that kind of looks odd, but it is what it is. So, you see? You've already got something that's kind of looking like hair. Let me just show you. Control A, group, set the pivot point. You see? And then just drag this on. This is literally how cosmetics work. This is how attachments work in Hytale. Everything works. So if you see that right now, it's not really a problem because in game it's going to fit on it like that, yeah. See? You could even just do it on here now because you've moved it. You could just work with it here. You see? You could, like, I don't know, maybe give it that, a little bit of this, and then watch. Here's where the magic comes into play. Let's just do a little bit of touch-ups. Maybe like a little, you know, aura farming moment with the halfling like that, then like that. I don't know, something out of like anime or something. Who knows? That looks about right, and then let's give that some shape. Very random. Looks Hytale-y. That's what we want. Alright. Just a bit of that. A little bit of this. See? Nice and simple. Now, you will just get the brush. This, set it about 90, and just drag. And just keep doing it. Make sure alpha lock is enabled or go off the way. It won't look good. And look, just drag these in. Very quick. Don't do it too many times. Just simple. And then keep doing it. Add some light brightness. Keep dragging. Drag these lines in. Don't overdo it though. Like that, see? And then like that. Like that. So like, it's a bit blurry right now. It isn't always the best. We just want it extremely random right now, so that's the main focus. We're going to refine it now by going smaller and changing this to a smoother brush and going about 70%. So now I'm gonna kind of shape it, like make it, give it form that hair has. See, this is because I didn't use alpha lock, which is a problem. See, like that. Then we do that. Alright. So this is actually the method you approach to doing all your detachables. So if you want to make armor, you just get the figure, you build the armor here, and then you follow the armor file format, and then done. It works for anything. We'll be moving on to hat next. We will be doing armor. That's in another video. It's a bit more in depth, you know. See, we're just smoothing it out. We want to kind of make a cut, you see, where we cut them. They need to have cuts in them to give it that hair feeling. Just cut through. Hair texture. Put some light in there. See, what this needs is, see, it's a bit mushy right here. Just want to seep through that and somehow connect it. Maybe you can cross it like that. Alright, smooth out this light a bit. See? Now we're starting to get more of a hair look. Imagine you're making mountains. That's how I would imagine hair. If it's a heel, it's kind of smooth, like girl hair or like long hair. Or like rivers. Like rivers have really strandy, if you're making like hair. Just think of things you can relate to those things and it will help you. Like that. And like so. Like that. This one's a bit weird, but see, I was just getting that hairish texture slowly. So now what I do is I go back to the normal brush, opacity 127, leave this, do not touch that. And look, I'm gonna get a really darker texture. And I'm just going to do this. See, I'm gonna create some Just patterns. Don't try and shift with this. This brush automatically, every time you click, changes. So it can be useful. See? And I just want to add these little patterns into the hair. See, it looks too much like rock there. So the issue here is not enough definition. So like that. Then coming down and then onto this one. We want to put little beads in the middle. Just leave that as that is. Like, you want to kind of merge them. See? Very, very subtle. Let's get rid of alpha lock here. That's the same. That's why it's not working. Like so. Maybe a little bit here. Some here, you see? And we're just creating that hair. It's a really quick process when you break things down. It's honestly super quick. See? Like so. Like that, and now we will do just smoothing it out a little bit. Give some layers more light than others. So we're just creating these little patches. Now what I want to do once I've got where I want to be, you see it's not perfect, but it does look like hair, so that's a good thing. See, the use of multiple brushes and thinking of feet, this is how you achieve these results, you see? Just believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, you can accomplish anything. Just instead of like saying you can't, just do it. Just straight up do it, even if it looks shit. Like, see? It's like, I've never done hair before, and it doesn't look too bad, you know? And you can just improve on it over time, you know? It's like, things should not be perfect at the start. And I think things in art that are too perfect just look not very natural. So see, there we go, we created some spiky hair. Some anime spiky hair. And we just need to put some lines here, you see? This just needs some line. Maybe a bit darker. See, like that, just to separate them. And then same here. And then just a little line here to just say that's the underneath. And see. And you got hair. Voila. Now you just want to add some light to it. Add the glints, you know? Add some glints to it. Hair is glinty at the top. It's a common thing, see? Just random squiggles. It's quite normal with hair. See? Alright. Maybe one. Make this the darkest part, 'cause it's the lowest part. It doesn't look too good, that one, because he didn't use alpha lock. See, I didn't do that. But let's smooth it out. Okay, now the final thing is what I like to do is I like to get my brush. I like to make it very big. I like to alpha lock it. Smoothness about 90. And I just like to slightly, not that one, sorry, about it. Okay, yeah, not as big as I want, but like that, and just give these darkness parts smoothness, because they look very scruffy. Merge them with the textures, like so. And then now merge these lines, just create outlines, essentially. You see, creating some outlines to the hair, and just push that in. Like that. Create some contrast there. See? And then a line there, just to divide it. Down the hair. Here, just to get rid of that weird shaping. You see? And this process can literally take forever if you want. You can spend as long as you want on it, but We don't want to spend too much time. See, you can smooth it like that, or you could just leave it like very Hytale, which is essentially like this. We just smooth the glints. So smooth these parts out and just merge them with the textures. The light glints. Like so, see? And there you go, see? You got somewhat, not perfect, but you have hair in a very Hytale style.